the meeting with Ambassador Kusya, not just for myself, but for all the Filipino victims of human trafficking of Isidro Rodriguez.
We want Isidro Rodriguez to put in jail because walang kabayaran. The money that owed from us is nothing. I want to see Isidro inside the jail. So that's why I seek assistance from the Philippine Embassy, because they are the right office or person to whom I should go and ask for help or assistance. But they are not positive to me right now because they are not meet their promises, just keep on promising, and after a while, it's no more, it's nothing.
Meantime, some Filipino activists in the San Francisco Bay Area are demanding justice for hundreds of trafficked teachers and calling for the prosecution of the man who allegedly victimized them. Romel Conclara has this story.
Last Friday, representatives from the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns, Gabriela USA, and Migrante Northern California met with Philippine Ambassador Jose Quisha Jr. at the Philippine Consulate in San Francisco to demand justice for hundreds of trafficked teachers from the Philippines. More than 200 teachers were allegedly duped by recruiter Isidro Rodriguez, who reportedly promised them good-paying teaching jobs in America in exchange for more than $10,000 each in recruitment fees. But these jobs reportedly did not exist. These alleged victims of human trafficking are now furious that Rodriguez has been released from detention after being arrested last November. They asked why the Philippine government isn't taking a more active role in helping the Filipinos who have been victimized. Ambassador Quisha assured them that the Philippine government is doing what it can to prevent human trafficking.
I would like to eliminate trafficking 100%, but it might be impossible, I don't know. But we will do what we can.
Two of those allegedly trafficked attended the meeting to tell the ambassador firsthand about their struggle. They argue that the Philippine Overseas Employment Agency endorsed Rodriguez and his agency, which made it more credible for teachers to join the program.
The agency was actually the one who fixed my POEA requirements. They did everything for me. That's why I trusted them very much. So when I arrived here, I didn't know I would end up like doing house cleaning job just to pay just the interest of my loan. Until now, I'm still paying my loan.
The representatives presented the ambassador with a specific list of requests to ensure justice for the teachers. They are requesting that the Philippine government prosecute Rodriguez, cancel their loans, and to shut down the recruitment agency. The ambassador says that he wants to see Rodriguez in jail and that he will try to work with their organizations in fulfilling their requests.
They came to me, many of them crying. Says, yes, we want to help them. And we want to help you too. We have to see how we can help. But I cannot tell you, okay, tomorrow your loan is going to be paid. I mean, I can't. We'll have to see what can be done.
After their meeting with Ambassador Quisha, the teachers and their activists staged a silent protest outside of the consulate. Representatives hope to maintain communication with the ambassador regarding their requests.
We definitely, as a part of Gabriela USA, believe that this is a much bigger problem, systemic, that's actually facilitated by the labor export program. And that these agencies like the POEA, over 60% of the Philippine economy is held up by our overseas Filipino workers, and yet they're the ones who are not being protected by the government.
Romel Conclara, ABS-CBN News, San Francisco.
Well, today we're talking about immigration laws for victims of crime. We're focusing on human trafficking. We have a panel of experts today from federal law enforcement and state and local law enforcement. Thanks for being here. Let's start right off with human trafficking. What exactly is that? What are we focusing on?
Human trafficking is slavery. It's compelled servitude in which a victim is induced to perform commercial sex, labor, or other services, and they're really being controlled by their trafficker through a variety of means of force, fraud, or coercion. The T-visa is a longer-term form of immigration relief that's initially good for up to 4 years. The criteria are that, like continued presence, a victim has to be a victim of trafficking. Victims also need to be cooperating with law enforcement requests for assistance in the investigation, and they also need to be physically present in the United States due to the trafficking or due to the subsequent investigation into the trafficking activity.
For over a decade, a corrupt labor exploiter has been targeting teachers in the Philippines, taking advantage of their vulnerable state, taking advantage of the poverty that's widespread in the Philippines, and taking their money, promising them jobs here in America with his partner agencies. And he brings teachers here where there's nothing for them. They are left with no visas. They are left with no status. They are left with no support from their families far away. And they are left with no support from this Philippine consulate and embassy who is supposed to be taking care of its citizens abroad. We are here because for decades we are tired and we are angry because nothing has been done about their situation. We are here because we want to confront Ambassador Quisha, the labor attaché, and P.S. Aquino for their neglect of their citizens, for the neglect of their migrants, for the neglect of the entire country. What do we think about that?
Hi, my name is Jo Kiambao. I'm with Gabriela DC, and I've been organizing with our group here since 2012, and we mostly formed because of the issue of the teachers here in Washington, D.C. Being victims of human trafficking under the hands of Isidro Rodriguez. So today is important because this is actually the first day that some of the teachers will be able to have a dialogue with Philippine Ambassador Quisha. Some have been here in DC since their arrival since 2003 or 2005. So for our teachers, this is going to really be an opportunity to express the needs and concerns of our community.
My name is Tina Schaff, and I'm with Gabriela USA. I've been in an organization with Babae that became a Gabriela organization in San Francisco since 2007. We're here at the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C., Gabriela USA, and we have representatives from Washington, DC, Gabriela DC, as well as Gabriela USA. This is a follow-up meeting from our meeting with Ambassador Quisha in San Francisco last May 16th. Today's October 1st, 2014. So we're here to follow up on some of the items that he had promised to take action on last May.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Janet, and I'm one of the traffic teachers. I've been here since 2009, and like what our kasamas mentioned, I was promised to have a job, but when I came here, there's no job available for me, and I paid $20,000, and it went up to $40,000 that I'm paying until now. In March 2010, I dropped by here I filed a complaint to the Philippine Embassy, to the POA, which lasted for 2.5 years and nothing happened. And I was in limbo. My visa, my papers was in limbo, and I just tried to start my own work. I ended up in a daycare center, which I work until now, and I was so outraged because our Philippine government, represented by the Philippine Embassy here, has until now for 4 years, they have not done anything in order to solve this case. All the other teachers that work, that are members of Gabriela DC, are working hand in hand to have their own immigration relief and to have their papers fixed. And so I'm here to, in behalf of all the victim teachers, although I got my immigration relief just recently, but it took 17 months for my T visa to be approved, and it just came out recently. It will not happen if we only have the support from the government that really need, that's supposed to help us. If they endorse our case and they do something about this, all the other teachers and all the other victims will not suffer of being working in a daycare centers that doesn't pay good. Not even half or 1/4 of the promised pay that they will get when we were promised to have that job by our recruiter Isidro Rodriguez. I am calling with the help of all the people here and all the people around the Washington DC area to help us with this campaign to rearrest our trafficker who is until now is at large. So I am waiting for we are here to wait for our for the ask that we want from the Philippine Embassy, who are really the first government agency that really has to help us in carrying out all these problems, that all these situations that we are in. Thank you so much.
Well, we had, of course, a good meeting with the representatives of Gabriela and our embassy officials. The discussions focused on how we are helping the teachers who have been exploited, and in some cases they may in fact be victims of trafficking. There are certain conditions to be met for them to be considered trafficking victims. No? So not all of them can be considered as trafficking victims. But nevertheless, even if they're not trafficking victims, if they are exploited or if they are taken advantage of, we try to help them, as we have explained to Gabriela. We've had many teachers who have come to us seeking our assistance. No?
From our meeting, this is a follow-up meeting from several meetings that teachers in DC and San Francisco have had with the Philippine Embassy. And from our last meeting, we had specific requests of support from the Philippine Embassy, but unfortunately, we do not have concrete items or confirmation from the embassy as to what they're doing to support our fellow kababayans here, and specifically the trafficked teachers. One of the dire needs of our members, of the teachers, is immigration relief. With Gabriela DC, we have been able to find service providers and assisted the teachers in getting more information about what trafficking is and what the T visa process is. However, there are still teachers who really need their documents, and they need immigration relief now. So one of the asks has been for the embassy to provide a letter of support endorsing the case of the teachers. Unfortunately, until today, we do not have that. We do not have that form of support. And some of the teachers have been here since 2003, 2005, trying to find ways and gain support in their conditions here. Some, being unemployed, working more than 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and all of this happening while they're away from their families, away from loved ones. These are the conditions that they're facing. After being threatened with deportation, threats of being harmed by their recruiter, they're still trying to find some support, and they have actually tried to unite with Gabriela in their efforts. And so it's only more than appropriate for the Philippine Embassy at this point to try to show some sort of concrete support to the teachers in what they're trying to do and in their aims of seeking justice.
I'd like to invite Ms. Rio Pachola to give a few more words on behalf of the trafficked teachers.
Hello. Yes, good afternoon everybody. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, lalong-lalo na sa mga opisyalis ng ating Embahada ng Pilipinas. We came here last Wednesday to ask our support, especially as the traffic teachers. Lalong-lalo na po kami, mga nabigyan ng RFE. Humihingi po kami ng tulong. At sa mga biktima pa ng mga teachers na biktima, we are 137 teachers in DC. And we were able to talk to Consul General Elmer Cato and Emilty Fernandez, and they promised us to do their best to give us their support, to give the papers for our T-Visa, RFE, and to other teacher victims. Sana po, nandyan po yung promise nyo the soonest time, dahil po meron po kaming nakalaan na araw para sa pagpa-file, sa pagsagot ng aming RFE at sa mga susunod pang mga biktima na nagpa-file ng kanilang T-Visa application. Kung ang mga ibang ahensya po ng Amerika ay nagbibigay ng suporta, bakit po ang ating mismong embahada ay hindi makapagbigay ng suporta? We are asking your support the soonest time. Kailan po kayo magbibigay sa amin ng suporta? Kung kami po hindi na namin mamit ang aming deadline, please lang po ibigay niyo ang aming suporta na hinihiling sa inyo. Kayo po yung mga kapwa namin Pilipino. Salamat po. Rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up, my people, rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up, my people, rise up! Filipino teachers are at your door. We're fired up! We'll take it no more! Filipino teachers are at your door. We're fired up! We'll take it no more! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up, my people, rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up! Rise up, my people, rise up! Bayan! 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 Laban! Laban! Laban!
We are following up with the embassy on the case of the trafficked Filipino teachers, most of whom reside here in Washington, D.C., but many of them also have gone to other states to find jobs. When they got here, they were tricked into coming here to the United States after having paid so many fees for the processing and also various courses in order to get a job here in the United States, only to find themselves jobless. We're finding that this is not just in the case of the trafficked teachers, but because of the nearly 5,000 Filipinos who leave the Philippines every day, this is becoming a really, many of the migrants are facing exploitation and abuse, wage theft, and also trafficking. This is an epidemic. You know, it's beyond this case of trying to prosecute their perpetrator Isidro Rodriguez, but rather it's about changing the system in the Philippines so that not so many Filipinos have to leave home and separate from their families. It's really because of the joblessness at home that people have to leave. It's really because of the lack of national industrialization and really being able to allow the people in the Philippines to have access to their own resources. Migrants leave the Philippines every day not because they have a choice, but because they have to find a way to survival. But because of policies such as the labor export policy and other foreign policies that are set by U.S. imperialism, it's making it so that the country is not allowing for people to actually live with their families, but rather go abroad to support their families at home.
Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Teachers power! Hi, hi! Migrants power! Hi, hi! Collective power! Hi, hi! Gabriela! Hi, hi! Lumalaban! Hi, hi! Lumalaban! Hi, hi! Gabriela! Hi, hi! Migrants power! Hi, hi! Collective power! Hi, hi! Laban, laban! Hi, hi! Bayan, bayan! Hi, hi! Laban, laban! Hi, hi! Bayan, bayan! Hi, hi!
So that's why I seek assistance from the Philippine Embassy, because they are the right office or person to whom I should go and ask for help or assistance. But they are not positive to me right now because they are not meet their promises, just keep on promising, and after a while, it's no more, it's nothing.
Meantime, some Filipino activists in the San Francisco Bay Area are demanding justice for hundreds of trafficked teachers and calling for the prosecution of the man who allegedly victimized them. Romel Conclara has this story.
Last Friday, representatives from the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns, Gabriela USA, and Migrante Northern California met with Philippine Ambassador Jose Quisha Jr. at the Philippine Consulate in San Francisco.
Laban, laban! Bayan, bayan! Laban, laban! Bayan, bayan! Laban, laban! Bayan, bayan! Laban, laban! Collective power! Migrants power! Laban, laban! Bayan, bayan! Laban, laban! Bayan, bayan!
I attended the meeting with Ambassador Quisha, not just for myself, but for all the Filipino victims of human trafficking of Isidro Rodriguez.
We want Isidro Rodriguez to put in jail because walang kabayaran, the money that owed from us. It's nothing. I want to see Isidro inside the jail.
Two of those allegedly trafficked attended the meeting to tell the ambassador firsthand about their struggle. They argue that the Philippine Overseas Employment Agency endorsed Rodriguez and his agency, which made it more credible for teachers to join the program.
The agency was actually the one who fixed my POEA requirements. They did everything for me. That's why I trusted them very much. So when I arrived here, I didn't know I don't have, I would end up like doing house cleaning job just to pay just the interest of my loan. Until now, I'm still paying my loan.
The representatives presented the ambassador with a specific list of requests to ensure justice for the teachers. They are requesting that the Philippine government prosecute Rodriguez Francisco to demand justice for hundreds of trafficked teachers from the Philippines. More than 200 teachers were allegedly duped by recruiter Isidro Rodriguez, who reportedly promised them good-paying teaching jobs in America in exchange for more than $10,000 each in recruitment fees. But these jobs reportedly did not exist. These alleged victims of human trafficking are now furious that Rodriguez has been released from detention after being arrested last November. They asked why the Philippine government isn't taking a more active role in helping the Filipinos who have been victimized. Ambassador Quisha assured them that the Philippine government is doing what it can to prevent human trafficking.
I would like to eliminate trafficking 100%. But it might be, impossible. I don't know. But we will do what we can.
Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Hi, hi! Teachers power! Hi, hi! Migrants power! Hi, hi! Collective power! Hi, hi!